So I think the best advice I could give somebody is to just get up and do it. Especially if you're in like the creative realm of things. Um, like modeling, I feel like if I had some hesitations about joining, I would not be at the point where I'm at now. Cause I personally feel like I'm a really awkward person, or like I'm nervous. Like I could be social when I want to be, but it takes me a minute to like get up to that point. But like once I'm there, I'm like, this ain't bad. You kind of go on autopilot. Um, I think like from a content creator perspective, we're dealing with really putting ourselves out there, our personal brand and whatnot, and no one wants to feel rejection. And it's like you see other creators, like big creators, especially like, yeah, if you have a certain type of content you want to make, and you have content creator inspo, it can be very hard not to compare yourself to them. You want to be at that same position that they're at. Maybe you copy everything they do in their video and it's still not enough. And I don't know, I guess for some reason it's like you can see a video or you can see someone doing the hobby that you want to do at a really high level and understand what makes it so great. But for some reason, like your execution is like a bit off. And like the only way you could get better at it is from improving and working on it. Like you actually have to put in the time and effort to get to that level, which can be challenging and discouraging um, sometimes. But yeah, like honestly, yeah, just go ahead and do it. Um, I think the one thing that really puts me out there right now is the interviews. It feels so awkward sometimes, like going up to people, asking them to be interviewed. For the most part, people are like, yeah, but there are times where like people are like, nah, and it's like, how many rejections can you take before like that affects your mood a little bit? But just keep going and keep grinding. Eventually, things will work out. There's this like one meme of like two guys digging for diamonds or something like that, and one of the guys is pretty much like maybe a few digs away from reaching it, but I guess he gets discouraged and turns back and walks away. Um, which is like, that's the one thing I keep thinking about every time I'm like, you know what? Let me take a break or let me not post. Let me just rest and stuff like that. I'm always like, if I take this break, I don't post this now. That's one less chance of me getting to where I need to get to. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Um, what else is on my mind? Mm, ooh, another thing, right? Um, that I've noticed is like sometimes I'll be like, yeah, I want to do this, but I'm not sure about it. Let me watch some videos or see people on the internet doing stuff that's similar to it to get some ideas. There's only so much you can watch before you do the actual thing. Same with tutorials. Like there's this phrase, tutorial hell, where you spend so much time watching tutorials and not actually doing anything that you end up not learning anything overall. Because it's like, let's be for real, most tutorials are pretty much the same. Um, it might be different here and there, maybe based on like when those tutorials were posted, but it's like you get the same information. At some point, you just have to actually do the stuff. And usually, tutorials are pretty vague. Like they cover a wide variety of like, here are these important things that you need to know, and here's how to use them on a basic level. But you're coming in with your own personality, your own ideas, and your own mindset. So it's like the tutorials you're watching probably won't fit that niche that you're trying to get into. Um, and the only way you're going to be able to understand that is doing it. Um, like I've been editing videos for a long time, um, watching tutorials and stuff like that. And like, yeah, I mean, most of them are cool because you might learn some features that you didn't know existed, or you might learn some things that you didn't know you could do with editing or how to do it. But at the same time, it's like, how many times are you going to watch a video on how to use the split tool before actually doing it? I feel like that's one of like the easiest things you could do, is just figuring out ways to apply it. Um I think another thing, like as content creators, is like there's so many different ideas for like, different things we could do. Like I know for me, I'm like trying to deal with like three different concepts of content and editing it. And it's like, yeah, I'm burnt out because I'm trying to figure out like, okay, like I gotta do this, then I gotta do that, and gotta do that. It's cool to be busy on my off days, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, I'm doing way too much. So I'm like stopping it there. Um, so I watched a video earlier about like, you know, or actually no, it wasn't even a video. It's one of the interviews I did with this lady. Her name's Ashley Graham. Um, she's she owns a modeling agency and she has her own business, and she's also a fashion director too for like shows and stuff like that. And something she said is like, stick to one thing before you move on, like, master it and then move on to the next, which is great advice. um I know for me, like, I tried so many different things and I've started it off. It was cool. I'm like, yeah, I can see myself getting somewhere with it. I don't get the results I want or the validation I need. And I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm not even interested in this. It's too much work. I just move on and do something else. And it's like, um, say I started something like 2 years ago, right? And then I only gave myself like a month or two and then I quit. Now I'm looking back 2 years later, I'm like, dang, what would have happened if I kept up with it? Because there's a difference between like 2 months of hard work and 2 years of hard work. Um, that's definitely something that I want to keep in mind. So it's like, with where I'm at now, I'm like, you know what? Let me just stick to what I know, keep doing it, improve it, get better at it, and see where that leads me. Um, oh, and then another thing is equipment and stuff like that. Like, um, I've talked to some of my friends who want to get into content, and they feel like they need a fancy camera, they need, the best mic, this and that. And it's like, I get it. Eventually you're gonna need like better equipment to do more things, or like to make the stuff that you do better. But at the same time, you're starting out, and so like, you don't want to commit to getting certain things super early when you don't know much about what it is you're trying to do, and then later on realize, you know what, maybe I should have gotten this camera because I think my niche is moving towards this direction, or like maybe I should have gotten this device instead of that. um and stuff like that. Like, there's the difference between a video camera and a picture camera, right? So you buy a picture camera thinking you want to be into photography, but then you realize, you know what, I think I could do music videos. So now you got to buy a video camera and stuff like that, and like put the picture camera down. I don't know. But even then, like, don't see stuff like that as a loss, because you could there's always a way to like pivot and merge what you learned from something else into another thing. Like, it's not like you just like scrap it and push it away. Say, yeah, like you realize, you'd be better off as a videographer. So you get that video camera, but maybe you need to take like pictures of like behind the scenes footage or like promotional content for those videos. So you can still make it like work for you in a way. Um, but yeah, it's just a lot of like overwhelming ideas just don't be overwhelmed, and you should be straight. That's definitely advice for myself. Um, that I hope to take. I'm trying to take seriously, but it's like, man, my mind is like frazzled right now. Like things are starting to make sense. I'll say I've been doing content since um I would say 2019 on and off. So it's been like 6 years, and I bounced around from idea to idea. And what didn't help was that I did not have a specific niche. I think originally I was doing comedy, which was cool and stuff like that. And I was trying to do like all the trendy content and whatnot. But I got to a point where I was like, I don't know, man. I don't want to be known for like this kind of content. Like, I want to be able to like walk somewhere, like somewhere I work at or I go to school at, and someone sees my stuff and they show it to me, and I'm like, yeah, that's me, that's me. Versus like, oh, like, yeah, that's me. You see me at my worst or something like that. Um, but yeah, and I guess like now the modeling is definitely helping. I feel like I have a better vision or better idea. Still trying to figure things out, like put the pieces together. And you know what? It's okay to not know what, it is that you want to do. But hey, at least I started off. So now I'm like at a point where it's like I have an idea of what I want to do, and I have all this experience behind me that's gonna help me reach that point or bring it to fruition. Yeah, that's it. That's my little ramble for today. So I guess I'll see you guys next Friday or this Friday. Yeah.